This is totally a political approach, and we must overcome this political approach. But how can we do this? We can do only by understanding the map, what happened in the last 2 centuries. Now, I will say, in May 1864, Caucasian. Here, in all these places, Muslim nations were living there. You did not hear their names. Some of them are very small entities, such as Hinaluks, Rutuls, Ubuks, Shapsus, Kabardey, Chechenians, Ingushetians, Lezgins, Dargins, Laks. You did not hear anything about them. They are small nations, totally Muslim nations, except the Ossetians in Russian language, and some Georgians. Some of those Ossetians and Georgians are also Muslim. This shows something very clearly us. All the Ossetians and Ossets and Georgians who are Muslim expelled to Turkey. In addition to that, there was the main group of Northwest Caucasia. They were called as Circassians or Adigeys. All the Adige nations except the Kabardays sent to the Turkey, and they pulled all the people to the ships, old ships, and they sent through the Black Sea to the Turkey, and thousands of those people died there during the 1864. Now, intra parentheses, I will say something. How many people? 1 million, 1.5 million. 1.5 million people expelled. Those people are really, when you recognize them, they are really Gentile people. They are good people, good-intended people, mostly brave, proud. They are really very good person. They have personalities. They sent most of them to Turkey after 150 years. Most of them, of course, they lost their language, such as the Bosniaks in Turkey. Probably we have 3 or 4 million Bosniaks in Turkey, but mostly they lost because they don't have memories. If you don't have memory, you don't have anything. Who are the winners of the world, you know? Who does exist? Who exists in the world? Jews. Jews are living. They have been expelled. They were under the tortures. They had many big troubles during the Nazi time. They have been killed, murdered, gas rooms. You know all the stories. But they still exist. Why? Because they have the memory. They have the language. They lost the language, but they survived their language again. From the ancient language, they created a new language, a modern language. Can you imagine this? This is the struggle. This is the fight. If you don't have memory, you will lose. This is the life. Now let's come to the story again. They sent from this northeast part of the Caucasia, they sent all the people to Turkey. And hundreds of thousands of those people died because they were living on the mountains. They called themselves mountainers. They are mountainers. They came to the Turkey, to the flat places, to the valleys, and not to the high places. One of my ancestors come from Caucasia also, but I never forget the story. This was one of the reasons that I chose this profession, law. We have to prove, we have to find the ways to tell the stories to the world. We need this. We have to, and I said, some people want us not to talk about these issues, and let's forget this. Let's talk about peace, let's talk about bratstva, jedinstva, and other stories. Okay, it's very good, let's talk. But if you are regularly killing me in every 50 years, I mustn't forget. If I forget this, that means you will kill me after 50 years again. This is a kind of earthquake. Earthquakes come regularly, you know. After 50 years, 100 years, like this one. These are natural disasters. But the thing that I am telling now, it is not a natural disaster. It is an artificial disaster who has been created by the people. I never, please notice this sentence, I never emphasize revenge. Revenge, being revanchist is not a good thing. I'm not telling you about the revenge, you know. Do you know revenge?
Yes.
Yes. But for defending myself, I need to know what happened before. Some nations of Caucasia, for example, Büyük, you heard this first time. It was the most rich, it was the richest language of the world. Regarding to the characters, letters, there were 80 characters, letters, voices. It was a huge inheritance of the ancient times. But now, how many people are there from those people, you know? How many? 0. They killed all the Uyghurs. Russians came, Tsarist Russia came and killed all the Uyghurs, except some families, they escaped to Turkey, and there are some descendants of those people, but they lost their language, unfortunately. Georges Dumézil from France, from Paris Institute, as I know, Language Institute, he came during the 70s and he found the remaining people in Tevfik Özgenç, as I remember, he was the last person who remained, and he told everything, and they recorded those, their words, their voices, sounds, and vocabulary of this language, but it was the last. He was the last person. If you are under the pressure, if you cause the losing this culture, this is cultural genocide. The other one is, and people, lawyers are playing with the words, you know. It can be not genocide, it can be massacre. Massacre is different. Massacre is different thing. Oh, it is mass killing. What does it mean, mass killing? If you kill some members of a nation willingly for cleaning them from somewhere, even from a village. If you kill all the people, even from a village, it is a genocide according to the law, according to the international law. But some people are playing the words massacre, mass killings, ethnic cleansing. What does it mean, ethnic cleansing? This is the gift of European law or Serbian lawyers to the world heritage, ethnic cleansing. Cleansing means cleaning something, we know this. But what does it mean, ethnic cleansing? Cleaning means a positive meaning, you know? Yeah. Ethnically, you can clean something if it is dirty. You are willingly saying something about those people. You are dirty people, and we are cleaning here. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes.
And now the legal literature, legal vocabulary has this kind of words, ethnic cleansing, or migrant. For example, migrant, who is the migrant? As you say, migrant is a person who willingly leaving their country and going some other country. This is very obvious thing. It is very obvious. We can understand this. But if you say the Bosniak migrants in New Zealand, are they migrants, really migrants? No. If they went there under the pressure of the war here, under those killings, genocide, rapings, pressure, tortures and everything, you cannot say they are migrants. Yes, they must be named as refugees. After 1864, they expelled the Caucasians. Only those parts stayed now. Dagestan, Chechnya and Ingushetia. Their total population is approximately 5 million, but 80 dialects. 80 dialects, different dialects and languages. I can communicate in 2 of those languages. Some is similar to Turkish, so the other one is totally different, and there is not any connection with any other language. They are very strange language, ancient language in fact we can say. Adige, Chechnyan or Dargin, Lak, Lezgi, those languages are really very old languages.